Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Chris, and on today's video we're talking about a fragrance from the house of Fendi. So this is fragrance number 2 that we were going to review from the house of Fendi, and I have to say I'm very excited because I should say, no one watched the previous video. No one seemed to be even remotely interested in this brand.
Excuse me, bitch!
Which is kind of a shocker because they're such a fashion icon. This fashion house is iconic. I mean, Karl Lagerfeld was one of the creative directors for this house. We had Kim Jones, and now we have no one. But we're gonna get someone new soon. But they did launch a fragrance collection, and it's supposed to be a little bit more premium, a little bit more elegant, a little bit more expensive. It's kind of taking a page out of Celine's playbook and just launching a private mainstream fragrance line. So today we're going to talk about the fragrance Sempre Mio. This fragrance name translates into always mine in Italian. It's also the same thing in Spanish, except it's Sempre Mio instead of Sempre Mio. So that's a nice little fun fact. And this fragrance takes inspiration from one of the creative directors at Fendi, which is Delfina Fendi, and she's actually the creative director of fine jewelry there. I was trying to do some research because on their website it states that the inspiration is Morocco, or a valley in Morocco. A quote that she states is, "I wanted to talk about where I come from and who I am," but then lists Morocco, and I was like, I thought the Fendi family was Italian. Maybe they're from Moroccan descent. I don't know. Comment that down below. But the name Fendi is very Italian, so I don't know. A little confusion there on my part. But if you know anything more about that, comment that down below. So these fragrances are a little expensive. They're not cheap. They retail for $330 for 100 ml. And this is what the bottle looks like. I'll try to show you. It might not focus. Oh, it is focusing. So this is not Sempre Mio. This is Prima Terra, which is the one that I purchased. And I'm going to review a sample for you for this fragrance video. But the packaging is very beautiful. It's very heavy, a little simplistic, more on the simplistic side. It does have that arch on here, which is supposed to represent the Italian Roman architecture, and the FF logos for fun fur, not Fendi, because that's not what the logo is designed for, by Karl Lagerfeld. So yeah, very nice packaging. You get it in a nice box. They do have a really weird return policy, so I think I need to talk about that. So it's just like their sister brand Celine. If you do order a fragrance from them, take into consideration that they will send you a sample of the fragrance that you purchased and a sample of a new fragrance for you to try. Sample of the one that you purchased is for you to smell the fragrance before you open it. If you open it, you cannot return it any longer. It is yours. You are stuck with it. Bada bing, bada boom. So just wanted to let you know that ahead of time because some people may not know that and their website doesn't make it very clear.
Scandalous!
Notes for this fragrance are going to be Calabrian bergamot, cedarwood, Moroccan orange blossom, and I have to say it's a very nice, refreshing fragrance. The orange blossom in here, I don't know if it's because it's from Morocco, but it kind of comes off as caramelized, a little sweeter, a little warmer, which is not something that we typically get out of orange blossom itself. But it's done very well in here. It's kind of giving a Tom Ford vibe, like a Soleil Blanc type of style, which is nice. We also get that bergamot, another one that's coming off a little warmer. I know we don't really register bergamot as sweet, but if you ever ate in bergamot, it's a little bitter, but it can be sweet as well, and that's what we're getting in this fragrance. Cedarwood in here is a little unusual because it doesn't really come off as your regular Joe Schmo cedarwood. It does come off as something that's a little bit more synthesized, a little bit more blended to give it the actual quality that it has in this fragrance. So that's nice itself. I do like it. The fragrance overall comes off very warm, and it does come off a little bit like warm sand under your feet in the middle of the desert. It's really, really expensive. It's really, really premium. It does transport you into an Italian beach, although Italian beaches typically don't have sand, do they? They're more rocky. Hello? but I guess some of them could. So I mean, that's what I mean by this. It's like warm sand under your feet while watching the sunset. Very, very beautiful vision that I have about this fragrance in my head. The fragrance can come off a little bit more serious, so I would say it's a little bit more formal than just your, like for example, Primatera I think can blend itself to both, you know, formal and informal moments. This one can too, but more on the formal side, because I think there's an amber in here. Although it's not listed anywhere, that amber really warms this fragrance up, and even though we have some lighter elements as notes listed for this fragrance, that ambery touch and that caramelized orange in here are giving this fragrance just a very expensive premium smell, which really, like I said, make this fragrance a little bit more formal, a little bit more dressed up. If you longevity of this, I was very shocked. I have actually been shocked with both of them. So Primatera, which is I think the lightest version you can get from this range, it is a cedar wood and rosemary fragrance, which is the one that I purchased. Kind of surprised me because it's pretty good, especially for the type of fragrance that it is. And this one is pretty good as well, anywhere from 6 to 7 hours, which is really, really nice in comparison to like Celine. Celine does have good longevity, not the best though, but I would say that this one itself does give great performance, great longevity, and it does have a really nice trail that it leaves behind you, so the projection is really good, obviously. So let's talk about it. Is it worth it? I have to say yes. I mean, I'm kind of excited and kind of wanting to try more fragrances, because it kind of, they just have an air of quality to them, which is what I loved about Celine. I know in the last video I compared this fragrance line a lot to Celine. They are sister brands. LVMH owns both of them. Bernard Arnault owns the world. We have to accept it. But what those fragrances had at Celine was quality. They had personality. Yes, they were a little bit more quiet, a little bit more subdued than these are, but they also just gave you that air of elegance and that comfort, that quality that we want. I know that when we think about quality and elegance, we think about loud and bold and transformative and just really out there. Or we go to the extreme of super light, super airy, super just one note type of fragrances. And this one kind of blends both of them. It blends the craftsmanship, the quality, but it also blends simplicity as well, which is a really nice balance to have with perfumery. And I do like them. I do think that they are a pretty good fragrance house. I think most of them are done by Quentin Biche, which is a perfumer for this one as well. And he was a perfumer for the last one that I reviewed. So great work that he's done with these fragrances. We don't know who did Celine's because they never listed the perfumer for them. Hedi Simon did them. You know how I feel about that. But anywho, what do you think about Sempre Mio? Do you like it? Do you not like it? Have you tried it? Comment that all down below. Don't forget to give the video a thumbs up and subscribe for more fragrance related content. Until next time, take care.